You have reached the Michigan State Police Records Resource Section. For instructions on submitting Freedom of Information Act requests, press 1. For information on obtaining a copy of a Michigan criminal history record or a traffic crash report, press 2. To repeat these options, press 9.
Michigan State Police Records Resource Section. This is Amy.
Hi, Amy. My name is John. I have Michelle with me here. Michelle is my girlfriend, who is an individual who sent over an email request with an affidavit of indigency yesterday. Here's Michelle. Say hello. Say something. She's just not a data analyst.
Hello?
And she doesn't want to be arguing with people. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can I help you?
I sent over a request yesterday and it got denied because you're claiming that I'm not an actual person.
Okay, so you probably got the missing information letter?
Let me see what this
There is a
says.
missing information letter. It says that it says here. Let me pull it up. Here, I'm going to be clear, Amy, that Audit Archives is a database that me and Michelle are working on. It's not an entity. It's just a database.
Okay, but the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act, tells us what we can and cannot do.
Okay.
And we cannot submit records to an entity. There has to be a person.
Oh, okay. So she needs to send it from her personal email account. Because she's a person. Michelle's right here.
Right. Do I just send it from my...
include your name in the request.
But it is.
Yeah, it was at the bottom.
With the affidavit of indigency attached to it.
Yeah.
This one is trying to say that request from a person other than who. This one says from a person. Michelle's a person. The fact that she sent it from the Audit Archives web email, they're saying is an entity, but Audit Archives is just a database that me and Michelle created. She created the email account Audit Archives. So you're claiming it's an entity, but Audit Archives has never been an entity. It's just
but the request is coming from a person.
Yes. Yeah. Audit Archives has never been an entity. They can't pretend it's an entity now to deny a request.
Okay, and can you respond to the email, and then it'll be clearer as to what your issue is?
It is. There's a response at 6:38, or in your time it is at what is it? It was 10 minutes ago.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quite honest with you, man. What we're trying to figure out is we have the Homeless Access Project. Me and Michelle are both homeless individuals. All right, I don't have an ID. All right, so John, don't have an ID. So the requirement of an ID or an address. So it is burdensome. Michelle happens to have an ID, so she was able to get an affidavit of indigency for you.
Okay, so who is the request, sir? Who is the request from?
Me, Michelle Kellison.
Michelle. Okay, hold on just 1 second.
Fortunately, Michelle, since you do have an ID, you can sue. So if they say no, just file a suit. I mean, it's that simple at this point in time, because this is games now. Because if you look at that law, let me see what she's saying here. They're saying that it's not an individual because you put the logo at the bottom that was just created. That lawfully it doesn't make you an entity.
No.
Just because you created a logo on Canva does not make you an entity all of a sudden.
No.
And that's how they're trying to claim it.
And it's a Gmail.
It's a Gmail account,
It's a Gmail. It's not even a...
But that's the new tactic. They're denying homeless people records. That's what's going on. But that's all you gotta prove. That they're denying homeless people records. That's it. Once you prove that, that's your lawsuit. Denying me was one thing. I don't have an ID. I can't file a lawsuit. Denying you is another thing. You can file a lawsuit.
Okay, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
I am. But you talk to Michelle. So I'm gonna get on let you talk to her.
Okay, so even if you do have that affidavit of indigency attached, the email itself has to tell us who it's from.
Okay, so do you just want me to send it from my email?
Well, within the email, where you're telling us what it is you're looking for, your request. And then the affidavit of indigency. I don't think you can email that affidavit of indigency. Doesn't it have to be notarized?
No, it is notarized.
It is notarized.
Okay, but how are we going to tell that in email? It usually has to be
notary is
mailed.
certified by their state.
The notary is certified by Michigan, and it's at the bottom of the email.
With
It's
her
got
stamp.
her stamp on it.
You can go ahead and do that, but like I said, the body of the email itself has to tell us what it is you're looking for.
It does.
It does.
Or if you have attached that form that tells us what it is you're looking for and who you are.
The email does. The reason you're talking to John is because I actually have more experience with this. The email specifically says.
Okay, but does the email have a person's name, or is it just the business?
It has a person's name. So you have to understand that Michelle went on to Canva.com and created a logo that says Audit Archives for a database that we're working on. There's no entity.
Okay, but sir, it still needs to have a person's name.
Oh, it does. 100%.
So the request itself
Yes,
has
ma'am.
a person's name on it?
Correct, ma'am. Yes.
Right at the bottom.
Right at
When did you send that?
that is on 8/20/2022, yesterday.
Signed it with my name.
Signed it with your name.
So September 20th?
September
Yeah,
20th to September 20th. Let me be very, very clear that me and Michelle are just homeless people that happen to have a computer. So if that makes her an entity, or if they're denying her the rights because she's homeless, or you've already denied my rights because I'm homeless.
Sir, we're not denying anybody anything.
Well, trying to not fulfill it, however you want to word it. Yeah, she just needs to know, because unlike me, who doesn't have an ID, Michelle has an ID, and she'll go ahead and file in court if she has to. But I can't. But if you want to disparage homeless people.
Okay, hold on. Please, hold on.
Yeah.
So you sent an email and it has all the proper information in it.
All proper information for legislation. I don't know what you're saying by proper information.
Okay, so did you get a responsive email telling you that something was incorrect? Is that why you're calling, and why are you calling today?
Because the email that she got back says, "Good morning, Ms. Kellison. Your correspondence as received appears to be a request for public records on behalf of an entity, Audit Archives. Audit Archives is not an entity. It's just a logo that Michelle created. As an agent of Audit Archives, you do not qualify."
If you want to take up that argument with you can email that argument, but as far as I know,
what
you
argument?
have to have a name.
The name is there.
The name is on the bottom of the email. I signed it with my name and my phone number, and I included the affidavit of indigency.
Okay, was your name and phone number on the email?
Yes, for the 4th time.
Okay, let me take your name and number and look into this a little bit further. So the email is from Michelle.
Well, it's from Audit Archives Web. Michelle owns Audit Archives Web. The email address is her email address.
So I've got to write this down.
Audit Archives Web at gmail.com.
Honest.
Audit A-U.
Honest.
No, Audit AUDIT. Archives ARCIVES Web WEB at gmail.com.
Okay, and her name is on the email.
That is correct. I'll tell you where the mistake has been. I filed the original request on behalf of Michelle. All right. When I filed the request, I don't have an ID. So they were requesting for an address. We're homeless. So I don't have an address. So when they were asking for ID or an affidavit of indigency or an address, I cannot supply either one as I don't have an ID and I am homeless. Michelle happens to have an address and an ID. Even though she's homeless, she has those things. So she got affidavit of indigency and she sent in the request. Me and her are a partner in this database. We are doing this database for our homeless peers.
And therefore share an email address.
Yeah. Michelle, I would say send it from your email address with your cell phone's phone number. Because if they're going to lean on that, when you go to court, you want to be able to know that that's what they're claiming. She's got to resubmit that from her personal email address. Are you with me?
Copy all that information.
Here else. I will forward this over to you. Is she still with you? Or did she decide?
Okay, can I get your phone number to give you a call back and I can dig into this a little bit further?
There's a number on the email.
There's a phone number on the email.
Okay, but can you give it to me, please?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay, and Michelle, your name is on the request?
Yes.
And what is your last name? Do you
Kellison.
have a last name on it as well, or
Yes.
just the first name?
But Michelle Kellison.
Can you spell the last name?
Kellison.
Okay, we'll give you a call back shortly, okay?
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.